So an institution based out of Sweden called, and just give me a second, I have to remember what they're called exactly, Varieties of Democracy Project, um, wrote an article saying that the United States may lose their status as a, quote, liberal democracy. And this is just absolutely absurd. This is yet another one of these nihilistic European intellectual body that thinks that they have sanction on the definition of what freedom is, and nothing could be further from the truth. And this is really absurd too. The United States is less of a free country because it is, quote unquote, it's become more what they say, quote, conservative. Or I think maybe the term that they're looking for is populistic. They compare Trump to Orban or Modi or Erdogan in Turkey. And they're saying that because, that Trump is making all these big decisions, all legal, by the way. He hasn't done anything illegal that I've seen, with, I think, maybe one questionable exception. But overall, it looks like it's a plan that's pretty well executed. But of course, the European intellectuals have a problem with that because their definition of liberal democracy, they're implying freedom, is not free. They would say that Germany would score higher than the United States, whereas in Germany, they're talking about, they're arresting people for their free speech. Or in Canada, where they do the same thing. They put Jordan Peterson in essentially a re-education camp. And you saw what they did to the truckers some years ago that were in Ottawa, freezing people's bank accounts over this, or freezing the GoFundMe pages for this. That is tyranny. The Europeans are really engaging in tyranny furthermore. Through their globalism, through their nihilism, through their quote-unquote liberalism, liberal democracy. Now, I'm not saying that Turkey or Russia or India, these countries are certainly not perfect. They got a lot of problems. This country has got a lot of problems as well. There are certain things by the right that I don't agree with, and I've made it very clear that the law here in the state of Florida about not being able to ridicule or make fun of people just because they have a certain religion, really it's anti-First Amendment. And I have as much problem with that as I do with quote-unquote hate speech. In fact, it is quote-unquote hate speech, only it's being done by supposedly MAGA, right, in Florida. It's absurd. Freedom is the absence of initiatory force. It's institutions and people getting out of the way of people acting rationally, right? So if I can't act rationally, I couldn't survive properly. That's why freedom is so important. But anyway, I'm just rambling on and on. This is absolutely absurd. And I got a good chuckle out of this. Who are they to say that the United States is becoming less free? We're much more free in principle than any of these European countries are.